For a long time, I've believed in this relatively simple concept. Everyone benefits from a violence-free world. This would be a world where everyone is safe to be who they are, truly connect with others and themselves, and live without fear. Just think about that for a second. What would that really mean for you, personally? But for some reason, that's not the world we live in. For whatever reasons, our world can be unsafe, scary, and dangerous at times, and more specifically, for specific people. I would argue that there are names for these reasons. Names like sexism, racism, transphobia and homophobia, classism, religious intolerance, xenophobia, and the list can go on. But basically, the concept is this. There are huge inequalities within our society and our culture that create unsafe environments within our communities, both at home and in public. When that realization sinks in, and trust me, it can definitely take some time to digest it all, it can be a really daunting and overwhelming reality. Don't you think? It sometimes leads many of us to think, including those of us who've been doing this work for years to fight symptoms of an unjust world, for example, domestic and sexual violence. We think, I'm just one person. How could I ever make change in the face of these huge problems? But then there's a second piece of the puzzle, and this is an important one. When we dial back all the giant inequalities infiltrating our systems, we see that they are supported by perhaps smaller, less egregious acts of violence and discrimination, acts that we see on a daily basis. Because we're all raised in this culture, there are things ingrained in us and in our communities that contribute to the conditions that lead to violence. Things like bias, prejudice, and stereotypes that make their way into our normal day-to-day interactions in the form of jokes, language, public ridicule on social media, and personal thoughts and beliefs. Sometimes they happen subconsciously, sometimes they happen without notice, and sometimes they happen intentionally and hurtfully. But here's the good news. Because these things happen around us every day, there are tons of opportunities for us to take action and make a difference. And that's what the Say Something Prevention Program is all about. We believe that no matter who you are, whatever roles you play in the community, and whoever you come in contact with, each one of us has the ability to say something to prevent interpersonal violence. And at Say Something, we're here to help give individuals the skills, language, and encouragement to say something in their everyday lives when they see or hear one of these little things happening. Whether it be a friend making a joke about stalking, a family member rigidly enforcing stereotypical gender roles, a coworker making a racist or homophobic comment, or any other act of prejudice that is encountered on a daily basis, we want to support our community members to say something. And yes, we know it can be hard and awkward to say something. And that's why we're here. Our program operates around the motto, Learn, Act, Be. Our goal is to help community members to know more, develop skills, and become prevention superheroes in their individual worlds. We created this program with mindfulness and intentionality and continually think about how best to enact change in a way that honors the knowledge and strengths of both the research on effective practice and the experience of survivors in our communities. Say Something seeks to provide practical skills, tools, language, and support for members of our community in order to feel capable of taking action to prevent interpersonal violence. I want to welcome you to our site and invite you all to learn, act, and be to help create a violence-free community. You have the ability to make change. Let's say something.